Hey, what's up, guys? Another new day. I slept super late today, so hopefully this is the long sleep I need to recover from work. I'm out here in the shop on this 12V92, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the motivation to get this thing going, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. So what we're going to do now is, yesterday I took off the rear blower, and that blower is garbage, and I'll be using the blower that came off the 6V92 in its place. But it's going to require me taking it apart and putting the right governor up on it. And I got a governor. I just need to get it cleaned up and get all the pieces working, lubed up nice. But I'm going to put the companion, I'm going to call it a companion cover. Basically, it's a governor cover that's just a blank, and it just has a rod that goes from the rear blower to the front blower to run the rear or the front fuel rack. It's all new to me. I'm going to make a little oily mess when I take that cover off, but I got to get the valve covers off, get the fuel rods out, and then take out the 37,000 bolts that hold the governor cover on, and then we'll swap out the blank. Hopefully the gasket stays true. If it doesn't, that's going to be no good because I don't have any. I actually have a box with some gaskets, some governor gaskets, or some blower gaskets, but let's just see what's in there. I think it's just the base gaskets. Anyhow, let's get looking at it. Okay, so if you remember from yesterday, I've got quite the mess of random tools laying all over the place. And you know, although that's not an ideal situation, it is the situation that we have currently. So it is what it is. So let's take this valve cover off. The good news is that I was lazy when I had this motor running last, and I didn't tighten up any of the bolts holding the valve covers on. So you know, there's that. Take these valve covers and we'll just bridge this gap with them for right now, and let's see if we can get these fuel rods off. Not really sure what you can see, but we did do this job yesterday as well, so it's just another it's just doing the same thing over is what I'm trying to say. I think I've got a, ooh, I think I just dropped something down in the oil. Lost my mind there. But yep, I think it went right down in the oil return. We'll give it a look here in a second. Put that on the blower. I have decided that the shop needs some additional lighting, so that'll be something we're looking at here in the near future. I want to say that this fuel rod's going to come right out through the top, and that would be super cool. Yep, there's one. Let me look in here. Yep, sure enough. When I dropped that pin, it went right down in the oil return hole. So we've got a loose piece of metal. I see it down there, so I may just get a magnet and see if I can fish it out right quick. Because if I don't do it right now, I'll forget. So let me see what I can do, and I'll be right back. All right, so I did drop that little piece of cotter pin down in the oil return, and I can see it down there, but I don't have a magnet that'll fit in the hole, so we're gonna magnetize this screwdriver real quick. All right, these are neodymium. It's a little neodymium stack, and I'm just gonna charge this screwdriver and see if I can't grab that little piece that's down there. Okay, so it's way down there. Nope, I was not able to retrieve it. I see it down there. Not really sure why I can't get it. Maybe down further than I can get. Nope, this is long enough, but the handle's too big to let it get in there, so we're gonna have to switch to something else. I'll be back. All right, so I've messed with that for a while, and I wasn't able to get it out of there, so we're gonna take these few pieces and put them in the box with the other ones. I remember taking one of these apart when I was a kid. I bought one at a auction, and took it all apart and then couldn't get it timed to put it back together. And I messed with it for a long time. And then I sold it. I was going to put it on something, but then I started reading about it. All the stuff you had to buy to make it work on like a Chevy engine. You know, you had to buy upgraded bearing plates and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I just didn't want to I didn't have the money, for one thing, and I didn't want to get wrapped up in that big of a experiment. So I just saved up my money and bought one. That was already done. We're gonna make a small mess. Let me take this apart. Big hammers, soft taps. Okay. Seems like there might still be one holding it on. I don't see one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. There's one inside the governor. The governor. So we'll reach up in there as soon as we find our wrench. I was gonna say it should have just popped right off, but it had a pretty solid sound to it. Now, probably should take this blower all the way off, but if I can change this cover, with it still on here. Saves me some time. Then I can get that 670 or 692 blower apart and get the right governor on it and stick it on real quick and make sure I can make make them play together. And if I can, then we'll spend the money and get some the proper gaskets and yeah. Hopefully that does sound like I dropped something down in there though. Let me give it a look. I think I did. Probably. That's right, we're fixing to make a greasy mess right now. All right, starting to get some oil out of there, what I expected. And what I'll do is I'll put a driver in there. Try and get that bottom pin out. It's got these neat little spots machined out. And it, I think it holds the oil. Which is, I don't think that was the design, but maybe it was. But anyhow, I'm going to try not to pull the camera off of the tripod. It's pretty cool actually. I think we'll release this clamp all together. See if this will pass it. Yeah, it'll pass it. All right, now we'll wiggle this out of here like that. And it seems like the gasket stayed on the blower, which is pretty much what I wanted. Don't know how we're going to clean that oil out of that, but we'll get some rags and start getting it sucked out of there. These rags should do a little bit of the work. What we'll try and do is get it all out. We'll clean this schmutz out of the bottom of the blower. That's where a lot of stuff settles down in there. Water and mung, because this is not a, this is just a gravity drain. It smells good. And the drain is through those rods, so it holds, you know, it holds quite a bit of oil. If I don't get ahead of this leak, it's going to be all over the floor. So we'll get as much of it collected up as we can. All right, I'm pretty happy with that cleanup job. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then this jobby right here goes on there. I did lose the other rubber. So on initial inspection, I don't think these are going to make it. I mean, maybe, but I just don't think so. That one's off by a whole bunch. We'll see though. I'm not going to get too excited. I'm going to move this. Okay. And then I'm going to figure out I think that'll go. Yeah, I think it'll go. All right, so it actually wasn't too bad. We can put a couple of bolts in and I got it up on the pin, so might as well put the bottom ones in. That way, if we decide we're doing this, we got all the bottom ones in. Might be too tight. Now we can get that 6V92 blower taken apart, and we'll get it set on this one. We'll clean these holes out and we'll put a gasket on just in case it does go. We're going to change this drive first. When we put the blower in, it'll be ready to go if it goes together. But let me get this cleaned up and see what happens. I'll be back. All right, so this is what I've been doing. I've been on the phone with Brandon. He's the guy I buy my Detroit parts from, and we've been just working out. This governor was in bad shape, and these weights were all stuck, so I had to get all that worked out. So I was doing that while I was talking to him on the phone. And basically we have a fuel pump clearance issue. So there's a fuel pump that goes in here, and it's, you know, for the 12V, it's got a substantial fuel inlet hose. And what happens is the fuel inlet hose gets in the way of, let me see if I can get you in there, get you a little bit of light. All right, you see this fitting right there. You see how that's up against the governor. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that fitting out. We're going to modify it all up, round it all out, trim it all up. We'll even trim up a little bit of the material on the governor housing, and we'll get that remedied first, and then and I'm going to take the blower off the 6V92 and get the cover off it and get it all cleaned up and get it ready for this cover. And then I'm going to doctor up this cover and doctor up that fitting and get that to where it fits. Now this is going to be an interesting procedure because this blower has to go into the drive and down, and so it's all got to fit. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably snatch these fuel lines loose over there so that I can bolt the pump on and then set it in there. And once it's in there, then I'll take and refasten these and hook them up to the fuel filters. We're going to put new lines on anyways, but for today and for this project, we're going to leave these old lines. I don't want to get carried away on a bunch of expenses if this engine's not going to go in Krystal. So, you know, you're going to be like, oh, but you got so much more work to do. You know, I do, and you're right. And I may regret it later, but it is going to be, I've got to get this all done and get this running with the new fuel rods and the new racks and everything, get all the racks set. It's going to be a huge job to get that done, and everything's going to be done and running with the truck governor. And then we're going to see, we'll put all the covers back on, tape up the blowers. We're going to leave these on, but we'll take that fuel filter menagerie off. Man, there is gonna be a ton of freaking work, but we're gonna get it in there first before we get excited about changing all these lines over. If I put this engine in there, in that chassis, and the cab doesn't clear this exhaust, it's game over. It's game over on this motor. And then this motor will have to be saved to go in. This motor go perfect in a conventional. You know, because you can just cut out spots on the fiberglass hood where it doesn't clear things, and then just make bumps in the fiberglass to clear it. So it'd be super easy in a conventional, but we're not conventional guys here. We're cab over guys, and I want this motor in a cab over, so we're gonna do what we can. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not opposed. You guys would probably freak out, but I am not opposed to modifying the tunnel in Krystal to make this work. So these are the major hurdles, this and this. If this clears, these will clear. If this doesn't clear, I can make new exhaust, but if this doesn't clear, I can't do anything about that, because this here is this is mission critical. These connect, this big monster water manifold connects the two engines together. That's how the rear engine gets its coolant. So this is non-negotiable. The only other thing I could do, I could negotiate a little bit. I could take these off, put the factory 8V92 ones on there that are inside the footprint of the cylinder head. But you know what? These don't really go outside the footprint of the cylinder head. Let's not worry about that today. Let's get done what I'm doing. I'll get that blower cleaned up, get that drive, get that governor off of it, modify this fuel fitting so it clears, get this on there, and get this bolted up. First things first, I'm going to change this drive, because otherwise I'm going to forget I have to do it, and I'm going to get this blower all down in there, and then I'm going to be like, and have to take it back apart. And so I'm going to get this cleaned up, get this swapped out, and we'll get continuing. Don't you love that when you stab yourself right in the palm of the hand with a screwdriver? I mean, I don't know how many of you guys do that, but I seem to do it a lot. And it's not much fun, really. Basically, all I'm doing is just cleaning the schmutz out of these bolt holes And actually I'm clearing out around the hole and putting all the dirt in the hole, which is contrary to what I wanted to do, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. We'll get the vacuum back out and we'll vacuum up all this stuff that I'm breaking loose. I just want these bolt holes to be clean and this gasket surface to be clean. So if we do end up in a go situation here, everything will, once I put it down in here, I'll be able to just run with it and not have to go, okay, so it fits, let me take it all back apart. You know what I mean? I'll move you just a little bit. Really not supposed to do that, what I just did there. Your shop vac is not rated at flammable or explosive liquids or vapors, so you really shouldn't use your shop vac to suck up carb cleaner. So just in case you guys wondered, that's a negative, big fat negative. Don't do it. All right, I got to get the vacuum back out now that I cleaned up the explosive gases. Oh, that's funny. All right, so let's see, what can you see back there? Oh, you can see pretty good. All right, so that area is clear. I think for now I'm going to take this back off, and I'm going to clearance that. I'm going to clearance this a little bit, not too much, and I'm going to take this fuel fitting off, and I'm going to clearance that thing all up. There's not a whole lot I can do. I can just round these corners off. Really not a lot I can do. So I'll have to clearance this up pretty good, and yeah, it's gonna be rough. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Let me see what we can do. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's definitely not a lot of room here. Let me get this fuel pump off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I know it's kind of hard to see, and even a guy who does this for a living was like, I don't follow what you're saying. So let me see. I don't know if I can even break these lines free with this pump just freewheeling in here. Okay. Let's see what you can see exactly. All right, so what I'm talking about is, let's see, can you see that good? What I'm talking about is this fitting. And when you put this fitting, put this fuel pump on, it's this fitting. When you put this fuel pump on, you can see that fitting interferes with this housing. So I don't know really what I can do. I think you can put this pump any direction. Fits pretty good that way. Try and change this fuel pump while it's on, while the blowers are on. I can tell you right now, impossible. Okay, so you see what's on the other end. There's a 90 on the other end. And if it's the same size fitting, which I think it is, I could put the 90 here and the straight over there. Let's see about, looks like it's going to be fine. Yeah, looks like it'll be fine. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get that other blower cleaned up, get this on it. Then we'll come back over here, we'll mount this up, and we'll get it stuck on there. I'm going to clean up some of this diesel fuel that was running out there under the blower. All right, so just so you know, the blower gasket set I ordered did have governor gaskets in it, and so we do have them. We're going to go ahead and change them. Do want you to know that these gaskets are glued on with the same concrete that the bell housing gasket was glued on with. So it's going to be a, ouch, it's going to be a little bit. Oh boy, so much fun. I was hoping I was done with Detroit diesel gasket sealant. I don't even know why anybody would ever glue a gasket on like this. It doesn't make any sense. I see no benefit in it. You know, you can never take it apart and put it back together without replacing the gaskets if you glue both sides. So I'm going to grab a stool. This is going to be a little while. Okay, so cut myself deep a couple of times, called for a medic, wasn't any, so took care of it myself. So again, you know, we talked about these gaskets on these Detroits, and they are crazy. Crazy that somebody would put that much sealer on, but we're gonna put some sealer on the bottom. Just because they got me nervous. You know, everything on this motor is sealed up so good. And so, since I'm using a new gasket, I'm gonna put just a little bit of Permatex on here. You know, I guess this thing does spin some RPMs, so we're not gonna get too crazy. But we'll put a tad on there, just a tad. If I remember right, this gasket was on here like this. And that tab was right there. Okay. And then we'll just take and we'll give this a little wipe. And we'll stick this unit on there. It already has a fuel pump drive. Okay. And that's 25 foot-pounds, remember that. These rusty, dirty ones go on the bottom. Remember that.
I still haven't been delivered, and then I seen your text. I'm like, 16 minutes ago, he's probably dead by now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want me to leave some
Nope.
here? Okay.
No, I just needed you because it's deep, but it's in a spot where when I just closed my finger, it held it shut. So then I just kept my finger closed while I was waiting for you to come out. And then after you didn't come out, and I was bleeding to death, I got up and made my own Band-Aid. It's deep too. Probably should have a few stitches, but it's okay.
It'll be fine. If you caught it in time, it'll just fuse itself.
That's what I'm saying too. I appreciate it though. Well, if it was an emergency, I'd have had her call you.
Yeah.
I love you, babe. For now, I'd say that was good. Ouch. All right, let's get this thing changed back here. We'll get the one off that blower, put it on here. Okay, so this got spacers on it. Why it was so tight on that blower. But we're going to Loctite these screws. We'll just use blue, and that'll keep it from coming out. We don't want screws backing out. I really wish that I would have Loctited the ones in the flywheel housing, but I didn't, and so now it's too late to worry about that. All right, I'm happy with that. Now we're going to put these back in this blower, just so keep track of stuff, you know. Keep track of it. This blower is definitely going to come apart, and I may rebuild it myself just because never done it before, and I want redemption from the first time I took one apart and couldn't get it back together. All right, so let's see. All right, so we're gonna do a test fit up, and I'm just gonna look one more time in that hole. I don't see anything falling down in there. I didn't realize you could see into the pistons right there. And the pistons don't look too worn out. Oh boy. Wow. Ha. Oh shit. Well, that's no good, fellers. I shouldn't even have looked in there. I have to tell you. Pretty disappointed right now. Yep. 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 Man. Something ran awful good for that being the case. I'm not going to get too excited about it, but I'm going to put it back together. Oh boy. Hate to say it, guys. But that might be it. Wow, I didn't realize you could see into the pistons from up here. Man, I was really surprised. I'm really super surprised that it runs as good as it does. Because the top ring is missing off of this piston over here. And I don't think I got it in me to swap it out. Like, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It might just be the end of this episode. Oh man, no way. Fuck. This sucks. I mean, this really sucks. I guess that's why they took it out of service. But man, do you remember how good this thing ran? It didn't really oil smoke much. I guess it'd just be down on power with one cylinder gone. But oh boy. But I don't think there's any doubt about what I'm looking at right now. Well, bad news. That's exactly what's wrong with it. It's missing a good couple inches of the top compression ring in this cylinder. And so I just don't think, man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think it over. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna put the blower on, and I'm gonna get it back together. We can take a head off with the blower on. It's a little hard because there's these little unions right here that connect the fuel lines. I don't know. It's a little hard, but it can be done. So if I decide I'm going to, man, that's a big crushing blow right there. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. Man, this thing sure ran good for having one hole that was bad, but you know, it was a gamble. I bought it as a core and it ran, so that was cool. Carried good oil pressure, so that was cool, and it really did run good. It doesn't really look horrible. And I probably could run it like that for a while. I'm just wondering if doing an in-frame, man, we're talking $15,000, $20,000 maybe. So I don't really know. I don't really know what to do right now. I'm gonna put the blower back on. And I'm going to put it back together, get the blower back on. The governor's going to be working. I'm going to change the fuel rods, the fuel racks and all of that, because I've got them anyways, and I would like this thing to be complete. And I do have to pull the engine out of Krystal anyways. So I may throw this engine in there and get it on the mounts, and just see what other kind of obstacles there's going to be, because you know, that truck needs a motor anyways, and I want to see if this is going to fit in there. And if I've got to in-frame it, if I have to rebuild this motor, I'm probably just going to get a different one. I'll pay, you know, I got this motor pretty cheap. So if I put $15,000 in it to in-frame it, it's worth it probably. Man, that really sucks, guys. Man, I definitely had some big eyes on this project, and I really wanted to get it in there. The problem is it's just missing. It's missing some piston ring, and I wonder if the piston ring broke out of that cylinder and got up in that blower, and that's what was wrong with that blower. Or if something went through that blower and grabbed that piston ring on the way by and chunked it up. But that piston ring is gone. Where it's at, I don't know, but there's a good solid couple inches of it missing. I'll try and post a picture with this video, but for now I'm going to throw the blower back on and get it bolted down and get the fuel line reran, get these valve covers back on. We're going to leave the fuel rods out for right now, and tomorrow I'm going to come out and clean up the mess. I'm going to tuck this thing back under there where it belongs. I'm going to tuck that over there in front of it, and we'll get this area cleared up and move on to something else. Anyways, guys, that's it for the bad news. I'm just going to stick this back together. I'll probably do a time lapse on it, but let's get going. All right, I got to put the I don't want this to fall off. That'd be pretty embarrassing if I fixed up this blower and then dropped it on the floor. It'd be super embarrassing. Got to get that sleeve in here and those clamps. A lot in this project, and I kept telling you guys, I got to be careful. I don't want to get too involved in this project and then have it not work out. So when I put this in, I got to scoop into that thing. It's going to be tough to scoop into it, but we'll do it. All right, so it's going to be super hard. Oh boy. I mean, super duper hard. All right. Oh boy. With that fuel pump on, I can't clear that rear blower. Oh boy, this thing is getting heavy. The longer the day goes, the heavier it is even. Oh man, I might have just figured it out how to do it. Maybe turn the blower, get it in, and then roll it back down. This is a two-guy job. This thing's super heavy. And it is not wanting to cooperate. we go. You know, I guess it's pretty close to ready to go. I might just keep trucking and get it the rest of the way together. And then I'll ask my buddy what he'd charge me to do a piston and a sleeve. It's not a big deal. Like, it's a big deal, don't get me wrong. Take this manifold off right here. Take this water manifold off. Disconnect these pass-through hoses. I'll probably take the blower back off. It's just on there now because, you know, I wanted to get the hole covered up. But get the blower back off. Simple task. I know how to do it now. It's simple, easy, no problem, no sweat. Get this thing up in the air. Get the cast pan off of it, blow the rod bearing off, push the piston out, and you know, I could just re-ring it and stick it back in there, but you know, if we're going to do that, just push the piston out, pull the sleeve out, put a sleeve in, put the piston back in. You know, the rest of this motor looks good. Like, I don't know why it's apart. I mean, I know that I mean, I know why they sold this motor, because it was probably squealing. That squeal we heard was probably this piston eating that cylinder, and you know, that's probably why they took it out of service. But it's no big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. I want it to not be, but it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, and I'm super not okay with it. But I'm trying to just pretend like it doesn't bother me. I want to know what I did with that top plate. You know, I don't know why every one of these is junk. Like, every one of these things that I've had in my possession have been garbage. But yeah, you know, okay. What are you gonna do, you know? What are you gonna do, guys? It ain't easy being pretty, I'm telling you that much right now. If you think it is, you come on over and see how you like it. Talk to you later.